orientation. And how we can achieve that? This we can do by drawing a normal vector to the given surface which is always pointing in an outward direction. So here, now for this a complex situation, a curved surface. Now this figure is for the curved surfaces. Now if you are having, this is the area element, we have to draw the area element, that is area vector. So there are the two options are there. So for a closed surface, the area vector perpendicular to it and pointing in an upward direction. So in the same direction, this area has to be represented as an area vector, which is there, which we have to draw the area element, that is area vector. So there are the two options are there. For a closed surface, the area vector with our topic area vector. We all know that area is a scalar, but sometimes it needs to be treated as a vector. Why is it so? Because it helps us to generalize many expressions as well as change various relations into vector dot product form. That means sometimes in order to solve certain complex situations, we need to treat area as an area vector. Let us see how we can represent area as an area vector for a planar surface and for a cubical surface. Let us first see for a planar surface. Here you all can see that we are having a planar surface, which is a two-dimensional figure having just a magnitude of its surface area. So it is a scalar quantity. But sometimes we need to represent this to have a concept of orientation, that is, we have to assign particular direction to it for a particular position of its orientation. And how we can achieve that? This we can do by drawing a normal vector to the given surface which is always pointing in an outward direction. So here in this figure you can see this is an area, and we have represented a normal vector. We have drawn a normal vector to it which is always pointing outward away from it, and for a particular orientation. Let us suppose if the this area is in this particular position of its orientation, so the direction associated will be this particular direction in which the normal vector is pointing. And if we change the orientation of this area, this figure, then the normal vector is pointing in different directions. So area will remain the same, but this time the direction of for this area will be the different as if for the previous case. So now it will be called as, instead of area, it will be called as an area vector because we have associated a direction with it. Now you can see for different orientations it is having the same magnitude of area, but the direction is associated with it. Now I think it will be clear to you how we can represent the area as an area vector. It is just by simply drawing a normal vector perpendicular to it, always pointing in an outward direction. This is how for a planar surface we can show the area vector. Next, for a cubical surface. Now for a cubical surface, how we can represent? See, this is a cubical surface. It is having the 6 planar surfaces, 6 faces. Each face is a planar or a scalar surface having the area equal in magnitude. But how to represent them as an area vector? Each face will have a normal vector pointing in an outward direction. So you can see here in this figure, every face is having an area vector, that is a normal vector pointing in different direction. So for a particular orientation of this cubical surface, for each face we have to assign a specific direction. This is how we can represent a cubical surface as an area vector. That is, each face has to be represented individually with a normal vector pointing always in an outward direction. So I think it will become clear to you how to represent the area as an area vector for a planar surface and for a cubical surface. Now let us see that how theoretically we can represent area as an area vector. If we have been given, let us see here, we have been given an area ds. It is a simple planar surface, but if we draw a normal vector n cap perpendicular to it and pointing in an outward direction, so in the same direction this area has to be represented as an area vector, which is as ds vector is equals to the product of area and the normal vector. So now a direction has been assigned to this area, it will be called as an area vector. So if n is a unit vector along the normal to the planar area, and so the planar area element ds has been represented by a normal vector which is shown as ds vector is the product of area and the normal vector. Now the direction is taken to be radially outward and perpendicular to the surface. So this is to be kept in mind. Always the area vector is always pointing radially outward for a given surface. Next, the area vector for the surface area A has the following thing associated with it. What are they? First are the magnitude is always equals to the area A. Its magnitude will remain the same. It will not be affected by just representing it as an area vector. Now, the direction is along the normal to the surface n cap, which is always perpendicular to the surface. So these two things we have to need to mention if we are representing area as an area vector. Now, to have a clear view, let us see we are having the two surfaces. This is the first planar surface having simply the area A. Now, if we are dealing with its upper surface, so normal vector has been drawn along the positive y direction. So, in this particular situation, the area vector will also be pointing in the positive y direction. For the same planar area A, if we are dealing with its lower surface, so the normal vector will be pointing in the negative y direction. So its area vector we can also take in the negative y direction. So for such a planar surfaces, the area vector can be either along the positive axis or it could be along the negative axis. Now for this a complex situation of curved surfaces. Now this figure is for the curved surfaces. Now, if we are having, this is the area element. Suppose this is a small area element. So, at the outer space of this planar surface, n2 cap is the normal vector, and its backward, the normal vector is represented by n1 cap. Similarly, for this complex figure, again the entire area has been divided into small area elements, and each area element is represented by a normal vector which is pointing in an outward direction. Mind it, here this is a curved surface, so we cannot associate a single normal vector to this surface area. Instead of that, we have to divide the entire surface into small area elements, and each area element will be represented by its normal vector pointing in their different directions. So this is a difference of representing area as an area vector for a planar surface and for the curved surface. So while solving the problems, you have to keep this in mind. Later on, we will derive the formula for the planar as well as for the curved surfaces. Now, let's see the direction of area vector for the open surface and for the closed surface. Let us first see for the open surface. For an open surface, one have to choose any surface to be the outward direction, since they are the two. So there we are having two options. Either we can choose the upward area direction, or we can choose in the negative direction. As I have shown you earlier that this is the pointing in the opposite negative direction and this is pointing in positive direction. So for a same planar surface, if we are dealing with the positive direction, so in this way we have to draw the normal vector, and if we are dealing with its negative direction, so in the negative direction we have to draw the area element, that is area vector. So there are the two options available. Now for a closed surface, the area vector of a part of a closed surface is defined to the point from inside of the closed space to the outside. Now here we have been restricted to choose in this particular direction, that is the area vector will always be pointing from inside to the outside surface. So this is the small area element we have chosen because the entire surface cannot be represented by a single area vector. So we have to divide this entire area into small area elements, and each area element will have its own normal vector which will be pointing in different directions, but the direction that we have to assign is from inside to outside. At any point you can notice is that we have to assign a direction which is from inside to outside, whether we are at the lower portion, whether we are on the right side or left side of the figure. Every time the direction will be pointing from inside to the outside.